I focused my attention for this project on the year 1921, expecting that by doing so I could learn something about the circumstances surrounding the composition of Jacob's Room. I used A Moment's Liberty, the shorter diary, edited by Anne Olivier Bell and introduced by Quentin Bell. Quentin Bell is Virginia Woolf's nephew, son of her sister Vanessa, and Anne Olivier Bell is his wife. During 1921, Woolf was drafting Jacob's Room. She had begun the novel the previous year, then revised it in 1922 before its publication in that year. Woolf spent the year moving between Hogarth House in Richmond, the outskirts of London, and Monk's House in Rodmell, Sussex. In 1921, Hogarth Press published Monday or Tuesday, a collection of short fiction. During this time, Leonard and Virginia Woolf made new friends, the most notable of which was American poet T.S. Eliot. On March 13, Woolf writes about dining with Eliot, since his wife is in a nursing home, and wonders, but what about Eliot? Will he become Tom? What happens with friendships undertaken at the age of 40? Do they flourish and live long? I suppose a good mind endures, and one is drawn to it, owing to having a good mind myself. Not that Tom admires my writing, damn him. Woolf was anxious about her writing, both about Jacob's Room, which she was drafting and kept getting stuck on, and about Monday or Tuesday. Hogarth Press published the book but didn't print it. On March 1st, she noted that my book is back from the printer, who has added a final eyesore, a brown back. There it is in masses, and I can't read it for fear of howlers, printers as well as writers. 5 days later, she notes that Nessa approves of Monday or Tuesday, mercifully, and thus somewhat redeems it in my eyes. But now I wonder what the reviewers will make of it, this time next month. The general line will be that I am becoming too much in love with the sound of my own voice, not much in what I write, indecently affected, a disagreeable woman. The truth is, I expect, that I shan't get much attention anywhere. On April 8th, writing from Hogarth House, she noted that the review of Monday or Tuesday had appeared in the Times. She writes, "Well, you see, I'm a failure as a writer. My book out prematurely and nipped a damp firework. A short notice in the Times Literary Supplement, scrambled through, put it in an obscure place, rather scary, complimentary though, but quite unintelligent. I mean by that they don't see that I'm after something interesting, so that makes me suspect that I'm not." In that same entry, she talks about a party she and Leonard threw for Lytton Strachey, who had just published a book of his own, and how Strachey had not mentioned her own book. She wrote that, "For the first time, I have not his praise to count on. What depresses me is the thought that I have ceased to interest people, at the very moment when, by the help of the press, I thought I was becoming more myself." We see here Woolf's lack of confidence in herself. She needs others to esteem her work so that she can believe in it herself. At the same time, she castigates herself for wanting others' appreciation. The next day, a very positive review came out in the New Statesman, and the day after that, Strachey stopped by to tell her how much he appreciated one of the stories in Monday or Tuesday. She labels her depression when her work is ignored and her joy when it is praised a disease from which she hopes to cure herself. Woolf's anxiety about Monday or Tuesday affected her drafting of Jacob's Room. On days when she was depressed about the story collection, she was unable to write. On days when she felt happy, she was very productive. Finally, in June, she came down with an illness that caused heart palpitations, fever, and other symptoms, and she was sent to bed, finally emerging in August. She writes, "How it would have astounded me to be told when I wrote the last word here, on June 7th, that within a week I should be in bed, and not entirely out of it till the 6th of August, 2 whole months rubbed out. These, this morning, the first words I have written, to call writing, for 60 days, and those days spent in wearisome headache, jumping pulse, aching back, frets, fidgets, lying awake, sleeping draughts, sedatives, digitalis, going for a little walk, and plunging back into bed again. All the horrors of the dark cupboard of illness once more displayed for my diversion. To be tired and authorized to lie in bed is pleasant. Then, scribbling 365 days a year, as I do, merely to receive without agitation of my right hand, is salutary. I feel that I can take stock of things in a leisurely way. Then the dark underworld has its fascinations as well as its terrors. She received many visitors during this time: Roger Fry, Strachey, painter Duncan Grant, Dorothy Bussey, Pippa Strachey, Carrington, and others. She eventually moved her bed into the sitting room by the fire so that she could rest, receive visitors, and begin to write again. Eventually, Woolf recovered her health and made a great push in the latter months of 1921 to finish her draft of Jacob's Room. On November 15th, she wrote, "The day before this I wrote the last words of Jacob, on Friday, November 4th to be precise, having begun it on April 16th, 1920. Allowing for 6 months' interval due to Monday or Tuesday and illness, this makes about a year." The book was published by Hogarth Press the following October.